I need to reconsider Breath of the Wild, because I think we don't give it enough credit as a game, because a lot of people have like complaints about Breath of the Wild, you know, like the weapon durability and such, but like I think it has something as an open world game that I don't think any other game has still. Even with the Breath of the Wild clones, like even Immortals, Fenyx Rising and Genshin don't have the same feeling Breath of the Wild gives. You know, when I play Immortals Fenyx Rising, I'm like, it's very good, and it has done some things better than Breath of the Wild, like the combat and stuff, and even the puzzles are better, but at the same time, I have this strong feeling that Breath of the Wild is a better game. The thing with the item is that in that game is insane. Watching speedruns of the game, seeing the movement you can do in that game is actually mad. Yeah, I think though it's a matter of atmosphere. I think what makes Breath of the Wild so cool is just atmosphere, and I cannot explain it. It's not the actual freedom you have, it's the perceived freedom you have. You know, it's all a matter of how it feels to play, and these Breath of the Wild clones feel great. I love them, but they're not Breath of the Wild. And when I actually see Breath of the Wild again, I'm like struck by this, like, it's just great. I really don't know how to explain it. It just gives you a sense of adventure that I don't think I ever found in any other video game. And when people complain about Breath of the Wild, like, yes, the shrines are repetitive and whatever, weapon durability sucks and doesn't have a story much, you know, all things, but still the game is just, in my opinion, perfection in in the specific atmosphere it creates. In its simplicity, in a way. I don't know how to explain. It could have a million other things that would make it better, but it just, there's something about it, and I need to either play or watch it to understand again why that is. I'm also noticing so much that I didn't see the first time around. Yeah, that's also a thing. Like, for example, when I play Fenyx Rising, there's a lot of stuff. It's very rewarding to play. You go fast around, you collect things very fast. It has very fast animations and such. So it's very rewarding. It's very addictive in that sense. And Genshin is similar too. Like, they give you a lot of stuff. They make you feel good constantly, and I don't think Breath of the Wild does it. I think there is a lot of empty space between objectives and or stuff in Breath of the Wild that gives finding a new treasure, finding a new thing, makes it more meaningful, you know what I mean? It gives you happy feelings in a way that is a bit different than just dopamine hits one after the other. It's like, and the fact is, you don't even find that good of shit in those chests, and that makes it amazing, right? So there's not a lot of collectibles, not a lot of cool stuff to find in Breath of the Wild actually, but still you get happy when you open a chest, even though it's just gonna be another weapon that has 20 hits durability, and you're like still so happy, and you like go for it, you know, and you're like, hell yeah. And when you go near a shrine, it's actually kind of hard to get to a shrine because the stupid radar thing it's kind of wonky, and you're like, and it's just so good to find them, you know, and you see the iron or the metals you can collect, and you're like, oh yeah, even though you don't have anything to do with them, or they're not that important, you're still, and I don't know how, you know, the chests are never worth it, but I still go for it. Exactly. And I'm like, why is if it's never worth it, you still go for it? It's just good to do, you know. I think it's just because it's so pretty. Like, I think in fact it's so pretty is also so influential. There's something about how good that game feels to play. You know how there's this the hero's journey that shows you where you've been in the map. After I'd done most of the things, upgraded all the armor, I just opened the map, looked at my hero's journey, and just went in the places I haven't been, just to see them. And maybe find Koroks, you know, of course, even though Koroks are useless. While I feel like there's gonna be a point in Fenyx Rising when I feel if I don't need anything else, I might stop doing it. And it's actually rewarding to do things in Fenyx Rising because it gives you like a lot of new armor, cool shit, cool upgrades, cool stuff. Like, it's very rewarding to do it. But I feel like there's gonna be a point while I play Fenyx Rising that I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm done with this. while I never was done with Breath of the Wild. The only reason why I was done with it is just I stopped playing for a while and then the magic kind of wanes away. If it doesn't work for you, I guess that's interesting to explore. Like if you're not caught in the magic that is Breath of the Wild, but when we talk about games like Breath of the Wild, I think it's very important to don't theorize them too much, because what makes them special is not like a set of, like, for example, I can say what makes Dragon Age special. It's very easy to say. It's like the characters and the stories and the choices you make, you know, and the amount of choices the characters you can be, you know. That's what makes Dragon Age special. I cannot just crystallize what makes Breath of the Wild special without without bringing up how good it feels to play it. Oh gosh, I got scared. I think Breath of the Wild approach to open world works very well in contrast to a lot of open world games in recent memory. Usually they go for the Ubisoft soft approach, where you consistently check your map to go for the next little item or upgrade, which can, after a long time of playing, feel monotonous. I haven't played a lot of Breath of the Wild, and I never felt like I had to constantly check the map to go to the next location. I just wanted to go to the place that looked cool in the distance. Exactly. And I've never found another game that's like that. Maybe with the exception of Outer Wilds, but Outer Wilds is very different. But it has the same, like, kind of, you just go to the place that looks cool, that you look for and seems interesting. Ghost of Tsushima has a brilliant mechanic with the direction of yeah, I know, I've seen that. I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima because I cannot bring myself to care about it. I don't know what it is. It looks nice. Adi hates feudal Japan, confirmed. Is that a bad thing to hate feudalism? Also, like, if you think, I'm not completely sold on the thing that the wind is such a new, different mechanic, because it's just the same. Like, it does the same thing as the minimap or the bar on top of Skyrim. It's just aesthetically different, and it feels, maybe it's a bit more immersive. I don't actually know because I haven't played it. You know, when you have a marker that tells you where to go, people who have a brain like mine, I just look at that, and I also scan for, like, the things I can climb, kind of, but I don't look at the game. And Breath of the Wild, even though it had a minimap, I think it was fairly useless. I was looking at the world 100% of the time. It does help in keeping the player engaged in actually exploring the open world instead of looking at the map to find a cool thing. Well, not opening the map, that's for sure, that helps. I actually do prefer, you know, Genshin has this thing that shows you where to go on the floor, like a shimmering light on the floor that shows you the way to the next thing instead of like the marker. I do think they are better because they help you watch, but at the same time, it's not perfection. I think ideally you would have actually looking at the world. I don't actually mind Pathologic 2. Pathologic 2 has a map, and I do open it every split second because I don't know, I just look at it because it's difficult to navigate, but it doesn't have a minimap. I think minimaps are the problem. Minimaps or markers are the problem, because I close the map and then I need to elaborate the 3D word. I like in real life, you know, if you had a map or if you use a map, you figure out where you are, you figure out where your objective is, and then you know, big brain look at the roads and understand where to go, which is exactly how you do in Pathologic. Maybe the other day I think I said that there's some games that should be influential. Like, you can say Breath of the Wild has been very influential, right? Because you know, so you can say it's influential, but when I see these influential games like Half-Life or Dead Space or Breath of the Wild, I just think, why doesn't the industry understand the actual reason that what actually is special about these games? And I don't think they ever get it, you know? I don't think they ever get it. I think they do it, not on purpose sometimes, especially AAA games, because Immortal Fenyx or Genshin Impact a little bit better. Genshin is a bit better of a clone of Breath of the Wild than Immortal Fenyx Rising is. But they don't capture the reason. Minimap being useless, not using the map, really engaging with the world is the reason, in my opinion, that Breath of the Wild is so fun to play and so cool. But have you seen another game like that yet? Like, it's been years now. They look like Breath of the Wild, But that's not it, guys. Like, we don't like Breath of the Wild because of the cell shading, dudes. Or the color palette. Only 4 years. Yeah, we have time. But yeah, that was my Breath of the Wild tangent. If anybody has anything else to say, I'm open to that.